What? Yeah. No, I'm behaving myself. No, I'm not playing in abandoned buildings. What? Again? Now, I suppose you had those people follow me again. Fine. Hey, this is Jimmy Pharaoh from Monte and the Pharaoh, and I want to thank all our subscribers. We have now passed 14,000 on our YouTube channel. But I want to ask our subscribers to take the next step for us and become a full-fledged member of Monte and the Pharaoh. Yeah, that's right, folks. There's 3 different levels to choose from. There's free shirts. There's free autographs. Just check it out and become a member of Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. Later.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV, out of Ronkonkoma, Long Island. I want to thank everybody for joining us. A few names out there. The Dank Crusader, our friend Maria Davis in the house. Jason, how are you, my friend? So good to see you. I'm getting a little nervous. For some reason, the chat room wasn't filling up. And
really?
Now it seems to be filling up.
It looks pretty full.
Not too bad.
All right.
I want to welcome our new producer, Jared. How are you, buddy? Round of applause. Round of applause.
I'm doing good. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. When we were clapping just now, the mics were able to sustain that, right, bro?
Oh, yeah, they were perfect.
He's the man.
Isn't that shocking?
I'm a little flabbergasted. Well done, brother.
Well,
yeah.
We had the marathon on Friday.
Okay.
Tommy Rich, Coco Beware, Jose Luis Rivera, minus Jesse the Body Ventura. Give the fans out there, myself, what were your thoughts about the interview? Did you enjoy them? What'd you think?
Well, if you had told me beforehand that I would walk out of there going, man, I love Jose Luis Rivera even more. That was my favorite one. The Conquistador.
Wow.
I had a great time with Jose Luis Rivera. I thought he was fantastic. Tommy Rich is a very cool guy. Coco's a very cool guy. It was great to see them.
Doing the
absolutely jamming, and stuff. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Mitch Seinfeld in the house, good friend of ours.
What's up,
love
Mitch?
You, Mitch.
What's
Thank you
up?
For joining us. 802, 13 months as a member.
802.
We love you, 802.
802.
Thank you always for the support that you give us.
No doubt.
I want to take a minute out though. We had that wonderful marathon, and it was basically because the wrestlers come into Jersey and they do something called WrestleCon.
Okay.
So a lot of times when the wrestlers come to New York, before we even get that, just a real quick question.
Sure.
Jesse not being on the show, thoughts?
Disappointed. Why wouldn't I be? Disappointed, Sometimes I do wonder why, whether it's the wrestler or the agent, maybe you can specify, but to me, when you're advertising somebody for months, and then at the very last second, it's like, well, he's tired, or he's this, or he's that. Quite honestly, I don't give a fuck what he is. That's me.
That one hurt, bro.
I wasn't happy about it. I don't think it was very professional.
No, it wasn't.
I don't think it was at all. But, hey,
and we had
karma, baby, karma. What comes around goes around.
Very good interview set up. I was so disappointed. But anyway, back to what I was talking about at WrestleCon. The guy who came up with the idea, I think his name is Tommy, and he could correct me if I'm wrong, Pharaoh.
Okay.
I got to give this guy credit for putting that type of event. It takes a lot of balls.
Sure.
Got all those wrestlers, and kudos to him.
Sure.
I was on a social media page, so I wanted to read a little bit of his social media page.
Okay.
He writes, grateful, thank you, appreciative, indebted, fortunate, blessed. There's all types of emotions going through me following the past weekend's biggest event I've ever promoted in my life. I can't even begin to put into words how special this past weekend was for me on so many different levels. I started the week off second-guessing myself. I was in my own head, telling myself I bit way more than I can chew. I didn't know how I was going to get together and pull it off. Not only did I have a huge convention in the day, but I was followed by a huge live event just a few hours later. There was literally hundreds of different moving parts, and I was feeling totally overwhelmed. I looked myself in the mirror last Monday.
This is so dramatic. Go ahead.
And legit slapped myself in the face and said, if you want to be the man in this business one day, you better start acting like that. And a light bulb literally went off in my head. I didn't and haven't looked back since. I've had
A whole week? He hasn't looked back?
He hasn't looked back at a week.
Wow, boy.
I've had tons of help during this week, the day of event. I would have been impossible to pull it off without it. I don't want to name names.
Of course not.
Of course, he wants to keep it for himself.
Right, you'd be giving other people
You
credit.
want to give me exactly.
Right, exactly. But enough about myself. Why don't you talk about me for a while?
Because I don't want to take a chance of forgetting to mention anyone.
Right, you wouldn't want to offend anybody, so you
help
won't mention
me-
anyone.
If
There
you
you
help
go.
me, you know who we are, who you are.
Right, of course.
I just wanted to express my sincere gratitude, everything and everybody. Yada 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 yada. I don't want
Wow,
to
this is a very windy city here.
let's see, anything good else about? Anyway, this is the big part. My goal is to be the man in this business one day.
The man.
When I say the man, I mean the man.
The man.
I mean the tippity top of the business. I know I was born to do this.
Born to do
I
it.
just wanted to thank you all again. I love this business, and I love each and every one of you guys. I mean, with all my heart. Please continue this journey with me.
I hadn't even gotten to with all my heart, and I almost said out loud, with all my heart, and then you read the next sentence, with all my heart. Wow, very predictable.
Maria Davis says Jesse picks and chooses with a thumbs down.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Yeah, that was bogus.
So thoughts on Tommy Pharaoh?
Delusional. What do you mean he was born to do this? He's going to be the man. The man in this business is Vince McMahon. What do you think, you're going to be Vince McMahon? What does he mean, the man?
My thing is...
I don't know what this means.
I was looking at Tommy's picture,
Okay.
and I was reading this great statement he had written.
This is a very dramatic statement.
I've asked our illustrious producer to please put up some pictures who I thought possibly could look.
Yeah. What's that?
That's Chaz Bono.
Oh.
Do you know who Chaz Bono is?
Yeah, I kind of do. I'm not sure Chaz Bono knows who he is, but it's a different story.
But I thought Tommy really looks like Chaz Bono.
Holy fuck, holy.
Right?
Yeah, that's his spitting image.
They almost look identical.
That's-
In fact, if I saw...
How do we know that they're not the same person?
That's what I was thinking, Pharaoh. That's why I love doing this show with you.
Very interesting. Yo, what is that?
That's either Tommy or Chaz.
For a
don't
second,
know.
I thought it was Wolfie D with the shirt on. I don't know.
But
I don't think too much of this. I think it's kind of delusional.
I got to give the guy credit.
Sure, it's hard work.
It's hard work.
Nobody's saying it's not.
Listen, just think-
Especially when you don't thank all the people who worked hard for you.
Even forget about that. Imagine going through life looking like Chaz Bono.
No, I wouldn't.
Would you be embarrassed to run a wrestling event looking like Chaz Bono?
Yeah, that would be rough. That would be
Do you
very
think the
rough.
wrestlers, like when he leaves the locker room, like he's giving the Vince McMahon talk, like, all right, guys, we got this live event. We want to do a great show out there. And then he turns around and they're like, looks like Chaz Bono.
Whatever you say, Chaz. It's fucking great. It's great. Yeah, no authority there. No. I don't know, man. What do you think about like the delusional stuff, though? I was born to do this. Now, look, if you're like, Randy Rhoads and you're young and you're ripping away at the age of 12
Right.
on like Mozart-type classical guitar,
Right.
and you were born to do this.
I'm born to do
Yeah,
this.
but just because you had a convention in New Jersey and a bunch of like, weird people came out and stuff.
He owns a wrestling store, too.
Does he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's it called? The wrestling closet?
Something.
Is he coming out of it?
called-
Because
That's
because
good,
this,
that's good.
this Chaz Bono stuff, I'm starting to wonder. Maybe he is. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Well, enough with the irrelevant. You got
Marty
to.
Greenfield in the house.
What?
I got here RJ Mato I-93. Hello.
RJ.
Glad to have you here.
What up?
Phil says, J. Will, I love the Butt by Iceman King Parsons. Man, I
The
used
Butt
to
Butt.
love the Iceman.
The Butt Bud. Nice.
But you know what I love?
What?
I love the man to my right, the star of the show, Mr. Jimmy Pharaoh.
Quit while I'm ahead. Hello, everybody. How you doing? What's happening?
Jimmy Pharaoh, along with his partner Bart Griggs, who you saw last week open up the Coco Beware show with Pile Driver.
Yep.
Jimmy Pharaoh, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sings such great songs as In My Dreams, This Life, Not Far Behind, Here Comes the Rain. You can find their music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Hit the thumbs up and hit that like button.
Hit it, Bart Man!
Catch them on Spotify, Apple Music, Reverb Nation. If you didn't know, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh. Catch Monte and the Pharaoh on the Monte and the Pharaoh YouTube page, the Monte and the Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor. Catch us on the Monte and the Pharaoh Twitch TV page and channel 115 every Tuesday at 9:30 and Saturday at 11:30 p.m. where we're up against Saturday Night Live, and channel 20 on Tuesdays at 1 a.m. where there's 83,000 people watching us weekly. So it was a rough, disappointing Friday.
Yeah.
Look, Tommy was fantastic.
Tommy was great.
Coco was fantastic.
Coco was great. My Conquistador,
Conquistador, Jose Luis Rivera was fantastic.
God, I loved
him. What an honor
him.
to have him in.
Yep.
But
he was
most
awesome.
importantly, for everybody out there, I want to apologize for the non-appearance of Jesse Ventura.
Yep.
I know our competition lathered in that failure.
What, by putting a rerun up?
Well, what?
What are you talking about, Marble Mouth?
Yeah, well,
over there in Canada or some shit?
Exactly.
Marble Mouth. What a bore.
But I want to apologize to the fans because the one thing we don't like to do is advertise something and not have it.
Totally agree.
And lately, we had a snafu with the Valentine Tito thing.
Nothing we did.
But again, we own it.
We tried.
We own it.
It is what it is.
We booked Jesse for 4 months.
Right.
And it didn't work, and we blew it.
I think we're being rough on ourselves there.
Well, again, we have a...
I mean, we were ready to do it. They just decided to, cop out.
We feel it very important that we do what
Stick to what we say, absolutely.
Without that, you have nothing.
Right.
And we're not going to go on trash anybody because there's nothing to trash,
no,
right? Jesse
nothing to
got
trash.
in. The logistics of it, when I found out when he was getting to Jersey, it was like was not going to make it here to Long Island.
Right.
So then we called an alternate, right? We said, okay, we'll do a Skype interview.
Sure.
We call it VMix. We use a system called VMix. And then the agent didn't pick up the phone.
Right.
I called Jesse's son. Jesse's son said his father was too tired.
Right.
And that was it.
And that was that.
And then it put me into Monte mode.
Oh yeah.
And Monte mode is not.
You don't want to. You don't want to deal with that, folks.
It's a rough week.
You do not want to deal with that.
We'll be right back with Monte and the Pharaoh present The Best Revenge is massive success.
We'll see you in a successful second.
Tired of that same old breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Same old tasting scrambled eggs, burger, that dinner steak, ribs, or pork chops? Why not add a little bit of spice or just a touch of heat to make the difference? Change that scrambled egg with a little bit of Johnny Fabulous's John Cena Sr.'s $1 Million Jalapeno Hot Sauce. Great on burgers, steaks, chops, and those barbecued ribs.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah. And Nitro's Garage for all your automotive needs. Call 646-675-2349. That's 646-675-2349. For all your automotive needs, Nitro's Garage. Ask for Jack.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte the Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV in Ronkonkoma. Jared, can you introduce yourself to the viewing audience? Jared is our new producer.
Oh, can we call him Spidey, though? Because
Spidey, yeah.
We like to call him Spidey. What's up, Spidey?
What's up? Yeah, go as Jared or Spidey, whatever you're feeling.
Whatever we're feeling. We're feeling pretty happy now.
We want to introduce you to the Monte and the Pharaoh family. We're so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here, and hello everyone in the chat.
There you go. Can you hear them all clapping at home on their
All
couches?
clapping.
Because I can hear them.
They
All right,
seem
so
excited.
A few
Nice.
things, Pharaoh.
Yes, sir.
Almighty says trash Hannibal.
Oh, Hannibal. Marble mouth, nitwit, boring. Can't really stay awake for his interviews.
Is that all?
I'll think of more later.
802
I'll
says,
think of
does
more
Hannibal
later.
still do interviews? No, Hannibal likes to copy from us, right? So,
Oh, absolutely, all the time.
We start putting on all these extra shows on the channel. What does Hannibal do?
All
He
the
goes,
time.
And then he goes, does the same
All
thing.
the time.
You know, we don't get Jesse Ventura. He puts up an interview from 4 years ago
Right.
with Jesse Ventura.
Right.
We know
But he's not watching us.
No,
of course not.
He's not paying
Of
much
course you're not,
attention.
Hannibal. Of course you're
Maria
not.
Davis says, hello, Spidey.
Hey, say hi to Maria. She's like numero uno.
Hi, Maria.
There we go. There we go.
Chris Steve says, 802 Blues. I think most of the people who don't want to do interviews with him do them with others, less known podcasters. Then he buys the content to post on his own channel. So,
interesting.
Chris, the actuality is that the lesser podcasters pay Hannibal to put their programming on there with the hopes that since, legitimately Hannibal
Yeah, he's got
has
a big audience.
huge audience.
Sure.
He's one of the originators,
Right. Of YouTube, yeah.
That's exactly how it works.
Right.
They pay him. So when you see
Right.
Two-Man Power Trip on there with a stupid mustache moron guy, what's that guy's name?
Mustache moron guy. There's several of them in
He
this
got the
business.
big mustache.
The two-man power trip. I
No,
keep.
not the podcaster, the wrestler he has on. The guy with the Zeb Coulter. The
Oh,
Dutchman
you mean
Towel.
Yosemite Sam?
Yeah,
Why didn't you
right,
just say
right.
Yosemite Sam? I would have known right away who
So
you were
when
talking
you see
about.
Two-Man
Varmint.
When you see Two-Man Power Trip on there,
Right.
they're paying Hannibal to put their programming on there.
That reeks of desperation.
That guy from Connecticut, the king of Connecticut, that guy.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know if he pays Hannibal, but I know
Right.
a couple of people pay
Right.
Hannibal. Right.
Well, he paid somebody for that hairdo. That's for sure.
Hannibal's real. Oh, Adam says Hannibal is really bitter that the Taskmaster buried him. So, if you're talking about Kevin when he was here in studio,
Mm-hmm.
Kevin, I'm going to quote Kevin to me and to
Sure.
us
Go ahead.
behind the scenes, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we decided we're going to start taping some stuff behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
and kind of put it on other venues so you guys could see that behind the scenes
Sure,
stuff. But,
sure.
and we won't gimmick it out either, right?
No,
We'll just be right
no,
back.
some really amazing stuff happens off camera.
Yeah, really. But
Seriously.
Sullivan Bay said that Hannibal
know?
is a very nice guy, but he's got severe mental issues.
Right.
And he thinks he's probably on the spectrum. I mean, quote the devil, right?
Interesting.
I mean, that's what he said, right?
Interesting. Borderline. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anyway, back to it. Roman Reigns pulled from Hell in a Cell.
Roman Reigns pulled from Hell in a Cell. Why?
WWE has reduced his contract. It's
Okay.
not showing out on your script, so
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
fine. That's fine.
It just came out. So they pulled him out, and basically they're like they don't want him to get hurt. Listen, you got Roman Reigns The Rock at WrestleMania, right?
Right.
That's in cement,
Right.
right? It's like they got to protect this guy at this point.
Right.
And
I actually think it's really smart too, because while this heel turn has worked magnificently, and it has gotten so many more fans behind Roman Reigns, and he's completely over and working on a legendary run as a heel, I think it's brilliant to pull back on him and show less of him for a little while, but still have him be the champ.
it's a good
This
idea.
worked with Lesnar, you know. I mean, I don't need to see him the champion every single week. I would like him to be something special, and Roman Reigns is something special. So instead of overdoing it with the audience, pulling back right now, I think is good.
Good.
So I think it's going to work.
Jay Will says Yosemite Sam and Foghorn Leghorn and Pepe Le Pew probably canceled.
Yeah, that's, well, Pepe Le Pew.
Dude, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Like, I understand you were a wrestler. But, like, why do you carry that stupid mustache the rest of your life?
It looks incredibly uncomfortable, and you probably get food caught in it.
Like,
Yeah.
in all seriousness,
No, I am being
life is
serious.
about being what... No, I know you are.
Yeah, like, why would you want that?
But let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're retired. You have a wife.
Yeah.
Do you think she enjoys that thing? Like, she has to bring you around town, walking around. Like, not everybody
This
knows...
is my pet Dutch.
Well, yeah. But no,
Oh, look, he piddled.
oh, my God. Oh, my God.
I can't. He's a cartoon character. Maybe he wears it to hide his identity for what happened
but-
back in Puerto Rico.
But legitimately...
What? I'm fine.
The
now.
guy...
I'm good.
Look,
What?
9 out of 10 people don't know who Dutch Mantel is.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Even when
I
he
think
was-
9 3/4 and a 9 9/10% don't know who he is.
So
but
do you
that's
think
okay.
when the wife brings Dutch to Costco,
Yeah.
she's like embarrassed, like because people are looking at him going, "What the fuck?"
Your pet, he'll have to wait outside. She can't even get in through the front door. You know?
What do you?
Huffman Coos.
You look
Can't get through the
like
front door.
fucking-
Huffman Coos.
You look like a moron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut
Yeah.
the gimmick.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he's like a baked potato with a big Yosemite Sam mustache. That's kind of fucking...
baked
He looks like
potato.
he's built like a baked potato, isn't he? He's kind of like this clumpy thing. I don't know.
Oh, Dutch. The wife's like, "Oh, Dutch, you're so sexy."
What?
Could you manage his
The
wife? Oh, that mustache. It turns me on.
Does she read the newspaper in Braille? I mean, how can she tell with that?
I don't
Must be blind.
Anyway.
Yeah. Ugh.
All right, CM Punk brutally buries Eric Bischoff and called him a bad take Carney dipshit. CM Punk hit Twitter to
doesn't
bury the former WCW executive Eric Bischoff and the wrestling universe, calling for an online wrestling fans to stop amplifying their contact. So basically, he just said Punk called him an old head, bad faith, bad take, Carney dipshit to die in the dark with their ego podcasts.
I don't know about you, man, but I'm really getting tired of Phil. You know?
He really didn't say anything bad, by the way. He said, if you want that extra audience...
Die in the dark with your ego podcast?
Yeah, because he's like,
But of course, Phil doesn't have an ego.
No.
No, not Phil. You know, the whole fucking wrestling world knows who Phil is thanks to corny guys like Vince McMahon, and he's mad at them. No one would give two flying fucks about this guy's opinion without his WWE career. Shut the fuck up already. I mean, he just doesn't stop. It's one after another. Now, Bischoff is a fucking moron. Bischoff is the only guy who ever took it to Vince McMahon head to head and actually got the upper hand. Can you say that with your fucking company, Phil? No respect for
Almighty
Eric
One
Bischoff.
says Eric Bischoff's single string of white hair has more charisma than Punk. Total Disaster says these guys need to dumb down the fancy words so us regular Joes that haven't been in fancy colleges can understand. We use fancy words?
Who? Are they talking about us?
I don't think so.
What the fuck you be talking about, bro? I have no clue.
you talking about, Liz?
Yeah, really.
I mean,
what the fancy words? Us?
I don't know what the fuck was
Waitress,
the
can
fancy
I have
word?
the flippin' check? That's us? That sounds like us.
I didn't
We're
know
not-
shit was fancy.
Shit's very fancy. What about fuck? That's the
Well,
fanciest of all.
That's your favorite word.
I know. It's pretty rotten. I should wash my mouth out
You know,
with
when we go to see
fucking
radio,
soap.
you gotta stop.
Of course I will.
Anyway, all Bischoff said was this. Okay?
Yeah.
This is what he said. Mm-hmm. If you want a bigger audience, you got to start doing different stuff.
Sure.
The present thing is only sticking with the hardcore
He's right.
wrestling fans.
That's
that you
right.
Discuss. So CM Punk to get all angry words.
That's all he
802
does.
says fancy words. What?
Yeah,
the hell?
I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, we're from some Harvard
RJ
college.
Mita 93 says, I wouldn't know who Punk is without the WWE. That's right.
Thank you. That's the whole
In
point.
fact, if you didn't know who Punk
Yep.
was and you turned on TV, you'd go, what is this crackhead doing right now?
Yeah, what is this gray-haired tennis instructor up to? He seems pretty angry.
He looks like a tennis
To
instructor.
me, it's ridiculous. He looks like Vince Russo's malnourished cousin.
Every time I see,
I'm like, what
no,
the fuck is
every
going
time
on
I
here?
see-
There's that
see
word
Punk,
again!
This is what I say.
Go ahead. Is that what you think? You think he's hitting the
Give me some
crack
more
pipe?
crack.
Really?
Guy looks like he has had a sandwich in 8
How's
years.
his teeth? Has he smiled at all?
No.
You know, you might be onto something. They should make him smile so we can check out his cavities. I bet you he's got little crack pebbles in between his teeth. I bet you he does.
Ew.
Yeah, that's kind of disgusting.
pebbles?
Yeah, crack pebbles.
Is that what happens?
I don't know. I don't smoke crack. I don't. I can't say I know. I'm actually in better shape probably than Phil at
Good that
this
you brought
point.
that up because someone we do know crack.
What is that?
WWE star Tammy
What
Sunny
the-
Stitch charged
Holy-
with drunken crash that killed the Florida man.
Dude, when did she become Phyllis Diller? What is this picture? What is going on here?
Tamara Tammy Liz Stitch,
God, that's
who wrestled
better.
under the stage
Oy.
name Sunny on her way to
That's
the
a better picture.
You know, so far, we've
Oy.
had Crackhead Punk, we've had Loghorn, Leghorn, Dutch Mantel,
Foghorn leg, Yosemite.
and we had Chaz Bono running a wrestling convention in
Dude,
Jersey.
why do we cover this stuff anyway?
Don't mess with me. Chaz Bono.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Tammy.
Yeah, please.
She was charged Friday in connection to a March 25th fatal car crash.
Wow.
Stitch, 49, had a blood alcohol level of no.
No, don't tell me this.
.280.
Are you kidding me?
More than 3 times the legal
Why
limit.
am I laughing?
When she failed to stop at a traffic light in Florida, crashing into a car, which then hit in front of it, the intersection, according to police. This is not the funny part.
God.
The driver of the second car was a 75-year-old Julian
Jesus.
Leicester. A former teacher was rushed to the hospital and pronounced dead. Our hearts go out to the Leicester family as they lost a loved one in such a tragic event. Stitch was finally arrested Friday and charged with one count of DUI causing death,
Yep.
1 count of causing death while operating a vehicle with a suspended or revoked driver's license, 4 counts of DUI causing injury to a person, and 3 counts of DUI causing property damage. She was released on $227,000 bail, according to the jail records. Pharaoh!
Who came up with $227,500 to get her drunken butt out of there? Where you get that kind of money?
Says, "Damn, Sonny looks rough."
Yeah, she looks very rough. Well, this is what happens. You wanted to be a rock star. You wanted to cancel on Monte and the Pharaoh way back. You can't make it. You got too much shit going on. Well, apparently between your coke habit and your drinking and your rock star lifestyle, now someone's dead. Way to go.
Mitch Seinfeld says she's a murderer.
Yeah, I agree with Mitch Seinfeld.
So
I agree.
What do you think? There's 2 things, right? Let her on bail and just finish this off, Tammy. Finish this off, everybody.
Oh, you mean like she'll overdose or something? That's horrible.
Honestly, no.
But I could see it.
Just do it.
Right, I could see it.
Just do it.
I could see it.
Do everybody a favor.
Right.
And, end the story.
Yeah, honestly, because
now you just took someone's life.
Because right, if I'm a responsible judge, she stays until she expires. That's enough. You've done too many fucked up things.
She's going to jail.
You got stay. Yeah, stay. Just stay there. Way to go. Nice going.
At least,
I guess it wasn't enough being a WWE Hall of Famer.
At least keep
I guess
her
it wasn't
in jail long enough that she comes out with a Dutch Mantel mustache.
She would probably look better than Dutch with a Dutch Mantel mustache.
Imagine she comes out of jail after she's 75 and she has a Dutch Mantel
Yosemite ma'am. I like it. I think that'd be great. They'd make a hot couple. You step over that line.
Maybe Chaz Bono could get her on his wrestling show before she goes to jail for life. One time only, Sonny!
I was born to interview you. That's what I say to her. I was just
Interesting.
born to interview you.
Oh boy,
Oh
boy.
oh boy.
PJ says, sadly, it's inevitable. This was going to happen eventually. PJ, you are so right.
Yep.
Everybody saw this coming.
Yep.
And
it came anyway, and the poor man is gone.
Mark
How'd you like to
says-
live 75 years and be sitting at a light and all of a sudden your life is over because of Sonny Diva from WWE? Rotten jail, bitch.
You're right.
Seriously.
When you say it like that,
Yeah.
hey, I spent my life teaching this world
Right.
and teaching these kids
Right.
and giving them a life.
I was a
and I'm
grandpa.
sitting in my life. I'm in beautiful Florida. I got my family. Maybe I'm going home to see my family.
Right.
And here comes Sonny.
Right.
Wham.
Right.
And kills you.
Fantastic. Rotten cell.
And then on top of it, she doesn't even own it.
No.
She says she has a seizure.
Nah, yeah,
and
whatever,
all
man.
this, right? She doesn't do anything.
Take your delusions and go sit in that 2x4. Enjoy yourself. Fucked up, dude. Very, very screwed up.
Jason says Sonny is also remorseful about all of this. She's been trying to play victim claim. Oh, remorseless.
Remorse,
sorry,
okay.
Jason, about all of this. She's been trying to play victim, claiming she had a seizure and the guy was killed by her. Exactly, Jason. It's bad enough you kill an innocent man, but then you just can't even take ownership.
She's used to this, and she's probably used to having her inside people, whoever they may be. Oh, Sonny, you're right. Oh, Sonny, it's okay. Oh, Sonny, you didn't mean to do it. Oh, Sonny, oh, Sonny, oh, Sonny. All these idiots bailing her out for her bad habits. Whoever her friends were over the last bunch of years, your friends suck.
Well, no, put those
I
same
mean, well,
people
come
in the
on.
chapter that go, I don't think Chris Benoit really killed his
Oh,
family.
God,
everybody.
here we go.
I think
Right.
that he was set up. Do you know
Right.
that Chris called Chavo
Right, here we go
a
with
day
this
later?
bullshit.
When people...
Give me a break.
This I don't think it's only
offensive.
for wrestling fans, but it's
Right.
like,
Yeah, I know.
get a life.
Yeah.
She murdered a 7. It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know what? She's as bad as Chris Benoit.
Right. In some ways.
No, in all ways.
You know?
She wasn't supposed to be driving.
No.
She wasn't supposed to be drinking.
No.
She was supposed to be in Jersey.
Right.
She just did the same thing.
She did what she always does. She said, fuck everybody else. This is how I want to do things. And now we have somebody gone. Bad shit.
Ubida Ulo. I don't know what's going on. 802's protect this, but I don't understand.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I guess it's you. Hold on.
What?
You do have a black hat on. He says the guy with the black hat.
802 is referring. 802
No, it's
knows
not 802.
Who is
It's
it?
some
Okay.
guy, Abu Ulo.
Hello, Abu.
The guy with
All
the
right.
black hat spends more time on wardrobe than I make in a year. Really?
Is he kidding? I got a fucking hole underneath this shirt under my
He
Ranger
says you were
armpit.
doing big Niz.
And I was doing what?
What?
Wait a minute. We have fancy words. We speak very fancy, and now I'm very highly dressed now.
Greg
This
R
is
says
fucking
Jim
weird.
Cornette labeled her as she is. PJ says she's worse than Benoit. I don't know if she's worse, PJ.
I don't think anybody
but,
could beat what
Maria
Benoit
Davis
did.
says she's
but-
reliving Shawn Michaels' affair.
Wow. Interesting.
I don't know, guys.
Interesting.
It just gets worse. You ready?
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
That makes it worse?
Yeah.
We'll see you in a second
No
when
one
it.
wants to watch a commercial.
Yeah, and we'll see you in a second when it gets better after it gets worse.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Start your own success.
Jimmy, I just got the best hookup on tickets.
Fill me in.
I went to www.seatslinks.com and ordered the best tickets with the best prices.
Call 718-676-0504. SeatsLink, the complete ticket experience.
Tell them Charles sent you. All right, welcome back to Long Island's number one pro wrestler broadcast, Monte and the Pharaoh, where we were not born to do this. Albasta Figueroa says, all bow to the Pharaoh.
Oh, well, thank you. I bow to you. Thank
Greg
you.
R says that Sonny, she was a nasty, loud piece of shit in the ECW locker room, and
boy.
poor Chris always chased after her and made excuses.
Yeah.
That's Chris's fault, dude.
Yep. Chris should have known better.
I mean, she's sitting there banging everybody. At
Yeah.
least, I have a little pride.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people love that guy out there, but like, get
Are you
some
kidding
pride,
me? I
dude.
would have taken a baseball bat to half the locker room
I'd
after
just
that.
break up with her, dude.
That's true too, but I would still make sure that the guys know, hey,
You know,
you
and
disrespected
one
me
thing-
too,
what
so
is
you're
the
going to
deal
take a
with Sonny,
beating too.
I never realized her voice. Like,
know?
her voice is like a man's. I was like, oh,
I guess.
what's your name? Tabby.
Interesting.
You see that video of
Never
her
thought
getting
of
arrested?
it that way. Yeah, she
How
does.
about
Sound,
that porn? Do me.
dude, that porn was just that's just because this is that guy. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought it was Gilbert.
Would you buy a porn? would you buy
Is that Gilbert?
Would
What's
you buy
going?
a porn of Dutch Mantel and Sonny?
No.
Dude, I would.
Why?
Because
To
that
throw
mustache,
up?
he's naked, he has that mustache.
You want to
and she's
see
like,
Dutch man?
Do me Dutch.
Wow. He'd be like, I'm going down. Come here, Rabbit. I can see him now. Getting all messy. He needs, that stupid mustache. That mustache might, he hides his lunch in that mustache. He pulls it out at noon,
Stop.
What is your real name? If that is your real name, Zeb
Speaking of
Coulter.
80s con, Jim Ross gives an update on Jake Roberts. His health is not good.
Was that Jim Ross?
Jim Ross. During the
Slobber
latest
knocker.
episode of Grilling JR's podcast, AEW commentator Jim Ross spoke about Jake the Snake Roberts and revealed that the WWE Hall of Famer is not in good health as he's dealing with breathing issues. I don't know, Jim. We didn't. Thank God you had that podcast because we didn't know he had tubes up his nose every time you see him carrying around canisters of oxygen. We
Who
didn't know
knew?
Who knew? Thank God
Who knew?
for Jim Ross.
And what's wrong with me? Why is it that I don't watch the podcast? I just like to watch the beginning with the steak sizzling, and then I turn it off and I go eat.
Is that what happened?
I never watch the damn interviews. I like the beginning with the sizzling steak. That's very weird. I'm a weird dude. Whatever. You know, but it took me weeks to put on this outfit. What do you think? I was very careful with this
Hey,
one.
so he's got a lot of money.
You know,
What did Roberts mean to you as a wrestling fan, Jake Roberts?
I almost feel like this is a trick question. What does Jake Roberts mean to the Pharaoh? Yeah. I mean, like, in what way? He's a
You're
wrestler.
a wrestling fan. He's Jake Roberts.
He's a wrestler.
What did he mean to you? What did he mean to the industry for you?
Okay, well, he is.
How has his personal life
let's start
affected your thoughts about him?
Let's start with the basics. Penthouse, Jake Roberts. I'd say Penthouse. You know, we've relaxed a little bit on our Penthouse rules. I would say that Jake Roberts
I
is.
just got to cut you off here.
What do you get?
Another comment.
Okay.
Leo Namalini. I hope
Okay.
I'm saying that right, Leo. Finally, we have some YouTubers that sound like they have been to college. Are you guys professors or doctors or something?
What is going on here? Yeah, Dr. Howard, Dr. Fine, Dr. Howard is more like it. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes, Leo, both myself and the Pharaoh both have college degrees. That is correct. We are both older gentlemen. That is also correct.
College
and we
degrees?
also speak about professional wrestling.
Yes.
Which is...
Yes. Well, we're not inventing napalm.
Listen,
that's been invented
I'm not
already.
going to say we're geniuses, but we do have college degrees.
I wouldn't say we're geniuses either. I would say we're super geniuses.
Adam asks, can you guys get the Berserker on your show?
No. I don't want to. Why, do you?
Adam, with all due respect, I don't really think I want Berserker either.
Yeah, no.
John
Why?
Nord.
No. Why?
Again, I think I said it before, the only thing that reminds me of John Nord is my father used to like him because he used
He
to
likes
run
the
around
Berserker?
like this, you know, with the hand.
He likes the Berserker. He's not getting booked. The Berserker. Is
Okay,
he?
no.
Is he?
No.
I thought you might change your mind and be
I
like,
know.
yeah, fuck it. You know, we'll have him on. Why not?
Almighty one says Dr. Monte, Professor Pharaoh have their PhDs.
My PhD.
Dude, you don't want to come to Dr. Monte, dude.
Dude.
You'd be in deep shit.
I came out worse than I walked in. What's going on?
I don't feel well. Come talk to Dr. Monte.
Wow.
Anyway, back to Jake Roberts. Thank God for the feds. Thanks for the material.
Yeah, really. You're giving us plenty.
All right, Jake Roberts, what did he mean to the
I
Pharaoh?
asked you before you started reading other things.
All right, sorry.
Do you put him in the Penthouse? He's in the Penthouse.
No,
he's
he's
one
not.
of the all-time. He's one of the all-time greats.
He's not.
He is one of the all-time
Okay,
greats.
he's in the
Can we
Penthouse.
slow down?
He's in the
I mean, you know,
Penthouse.
he's one of the all-time greats.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
As
Hold on. Why is he an all-time great?
Why is he an all-time great? Because back in the day when things were big time and things felt big time, he was big time. Yeah. Jake Roberts.
Fine.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
He was big time. Jake Roberts was big time. I think he's one of the all-time greats. What did he mean to me personally? Nothing. As far as some of his behavior over the years, I think he's been pretty much a psycho. We know he's unreliable. We dealt with him in the past.
By the way, Phil says...
He's unreliable.
Phil says Nord is gold. We'd like him.
Okay, wait a minute. Accessory?
Yeah.
All right, Phil, we'll think about it.
Fine.
Let's
We
think.
got to get Nord.
You know why we came to this conclusion so quickly? We have college degrees. So,
Anyway, back to
Yeah.
your friend.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Greg R. says Jose Luis Rivera was one of our best shows. Thank you, sir.
I enjoyed that very much.
Very nice.
Yeah, we had our dealing with Jake, and he was that more the agent's case, or do you really think, you know? I mean,
I talked to Jake after that. I
did.
actually had a conversation
I was
with
pretty
him.
disappointed. That was a couple of years ago, by the way.
Yeah, but he gave me the old, man, if I would have known, like, you
right.
know.
Sounds like a line, though.
You know, you don't know who's telling, but whatever.
Right.
The fact of the matter, he didn't come.
Right.
And,
I mean, I wish Jake well. You never want to hear that any of these guys are dealing with bad stuff.
Well, if he does come in the studio, can mic his oxygen tank a little bit.
What are we gonna? We're
Gonna
gonna
put a mic on it.
on the oxygen
Yeah,
tank.
just in case.
Okay. All right.
Here, interview me. I'm Jake.
So, Jake, tell us about the time back in the '80s. What was that, Jake? Cut.
Breathing. Hold on.
This is, dude.
What's the question?
You're horrible.
What's the question?
That is
What's
so
the question?
mean.
What are you asking?
What is the question? Does Damien need an oxygen tank too? Because Damien's a very old snake at this point, you know, unless Damien's already gone. This is all he says the whole time. It's like interviewing Darth Vader. What am I hearing? I'm hearing a ventilator. What is going? Where are the rebel plans?
Hello. My name is Jake the Snake Roberts.
Dude. Can't even. What am I
We got
supposed?
PhDs.
This is yeah. We went to
All right,
college.
back to Jake. Go ahead.
What do you mean? Go ahead. I already went. Go ahead. Tell us more. Yeah, he's in the Penthouse, but I think his behavior over the years has been completely weird and
Phil
whacked
says
out.
put Jake in the Darth Vader mask. That'd be awesome.
Jake the Snake Roberts as Darth Vader. I'm trying to picture it.
Come here, give you a DDT.
But who's Luke Skywalker? Marco Stunt? It isn't true.
All right, Tony Khan on AEW doing bigger pay-per-view buys following Cody Rhodes' departure. Cody was a great person from the start of AEW, Khan admitted. He's a great wrestler and somebody I really like and respect very much.
Liar.
And he always wish him the best.
Full of shit.
The timing of it with a lot of big stars coming in around the same time, of course, CM Punk, Adam Cole, and Bryan Danielson coming in their period of time where some of the top stars like Chris Jericho and Jon Moxley were both out. Now both have come back, and now AEW's better than ever.
Shut up, fanboy. Shut up, fanboy. I love it, too. He's like, I love these names he's dropping. Jericho and Moxley and Punk and Danielson. These are all WWE legends.
I mean, Damien's doing DDP yoga.
Damien?
Yeah, the snake.
Is he... The Snake is doing DDP yoga? He's flexible already. This must be easy for Damien. I mean...
Damien, do some push-ups.
The Snake's
Damien. Because Damien's in bad shape because he's been sucking in the secondhand smoke from Jake.
He's like...
He can't even bite you. He's like...
Stop smoking the Marlboros.
Oh, my God. All right, anyway, back to Tony.
This is terrible.
You're killing me tonight.
Yeah, but I love how he's dropping all these names he took from WWE. We're better than ever. We cast Punk and Danielson and Jericho and Moxley. I can't wait till Roman Reigns comes, and I can't... Dude, you're the biggest fucking fraud ever. All you do is shoplift from Vince McMahon and then say you're better. How is this possible? It's not possible. It's a bunch of retreads.
I told you, I kind of turned a different eye.
At least TNA grew AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and a couple of others. I mean, what the...
It's got the smaller guys, and they're wrestling each other. And even 802. I know we like to kill them 802, but
yeah,
you know what? It's really not that bad. For the point that they're smaller guys, and I think we discussed it, like featherweight boxing, right? Featherweights could beat the hell out of each other, and middleweights
at a faster pace. Right.
This is kind of like AEW, and you know what? I'm kind of accepting it for what it is.
For what it is. Exactly.
But definitely, there's Tony Khan is all butthurt that Cody left.
Right.
Right. But the fact of the matter, we discussed this, is our belief, and we both agree on it, is that Cody left the WWE, right, because he wasn't happy and he wanted to do something, found Ring of Honor, found a guy that had lots of money, envisioned himself as being the Dusty Rhodes to the...
to this company.
To the, what do you call it? Oh, my God. Brain freeze. Who's the other promoter?
Other promoter?
The Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Oh, back in the day, Crockett?
Crockett, thank you.
Yeah.
Khan was his Crockett.
Right.
Unfortunately, Khan was a bigger fan than I think Cody expected.
Right.
And said, shit. And all of a sudden, all this shit's happening. It's like, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it in the big time. I'm not going to do it in the small time, right?
Right. It must be hard for Cody, too, because he basically... got that whole thing going, and then he watched the fanboy go out of control. That had to be rough.
Total Disaster says, Pharaoh, enough. Let's clean up all this dirty talk. Enough yapping about Barnett's schlong and Sonny's escapades. This is a family show.
Okay, Fred Rogers. Who said that?
This is Total Disaster.
Hey, well, that's cool.
RJ Mita says, TNA wasn't bad from 2010 to 210. I enjoyed TNA watching Bobby Roode, James Storm, and AJ.
TNA was not. Okay. TNA was cool, like 2007 to 2008 or 9 or something. They had a nice little thing, but at the end of the day, it wasn't.
Almighty one said Buff Bagwell tried to reach out to Tony Khan on Twitter.
Did he?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Buff recently. So
I bet you Tony Khan would have him on in a second.
Whether
he can wrestle anymore or not.
We really should take credit for a few things. So I'm asking for everybody to listen because these are facts, right?
Yeah.
When Ted DiBiase was in here with the IRS, right? We were speaking about when he won the title on the main event, that great, huge show. And then Pharaoh specifically said, we should petition to recognize you as
to have
the heavyweight champion.
Officially recognized.
Against Bam Bam Bigelow.
That's right.
What happens? Ted DiBiase puts a petition together.
What do you know?
Right?
You're welcome, Ted.
Buff Bagwell comes on our show.
Yep.
And instantly checks himself into rehab the
Right.
next day.
Right.
This is a fact.
No, I'm waiting for a fib. I'm not hearing one yet. You know?
Chris Steve says Buff is washed up. He's got punked off by Kiwi.
What happened? Who's?
He got punked off by Kiwi.
Kiwi?
Remember Kiwi?
Yeah, I'm trying to forget
God, I
Kiwi.
forget these
That
names.
hairstyle.
That guy was
His
awesome.
hair was
The
like,
blonde
he was wackadoo.
Oh my God!
You know,
All right, anyway.
he would have made a great sequel to Adrian Street. They should have, like, made him like, the next Adrian Street or something. He was weird.
Do you think Tony Storm? What do you think she was thinking about leaving the WWE? Here she is in a program with Flair on Fox,
Right.
and then
Charlotte Flair on
Charlotte
Fox.
Flair on Fox,
Right.
and then she leaves
Mm-hmm.
to go to
AEW.
AEW.
Right.
What are you thinking?
Well, who's she wrestling in AEW? And
boy.
what channel is it on? We went from Fox to TBS. Okay, that's a downgrade, but at least you're still on cable somewhere.
Right.
And who against Jamie? Who?
Jamie Hayter.
Jamie Hayter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's not Charlotte Flair. Do you think she's already thinking? I think I might have screwed up, just like a lot of them.
I really don't know what any of them think.
How could she be so unhappy with her program with Charlotte Flair? You were getting major exposure. You couldn't ride it out. Vince would have rewarded you later. You don't recognize the pattern with Vince McMahon? Can't anybody recognize? His patterns are usually a lot more predictable than people think.
I honestly think that some of these wrestlers lose their vision and
Yeah.
they decide, hey, less is more. Let me just make money.
Right.
And they don't think about the impact that they had on wrestling. And I
Right.
think when they're 60-something years old and they're sitting across on a couch on Monte and Pharaoh, a.k.a. Tommy Rich, they reflect on themselves, and Tommy Rich can be proud of himself and go, hey, you know what? I made a huge difference in this sport.
Sure.
I am an icon,
Right.
right?
Right.
I feel terrible for a guy like Adam Cole who has made this decision because he'll never be anything. When it's over, it's over. People will not remember Adam Cole, baby.
Not like they should have. I would have loved to have seen him in a WrestleMania and getting the push that he should have stuck around. I'm sorry. One way or the other, you work your whole life if you have a dream to perfect your art and to get to the front door of the biggest door out there. You get to Vince McMahon, and then you get all crazy about your character. You get too absorbed in yourself to not realize that you got to work with the company. Vince has done this with a lot of guys. It seems like there's nothing going on for them, and then kaboom, there's something going on for them. A lot of these guys pay their dues. A lot of these guys do. Like if Kevin Owens had listened to the fans when he dropped the belt to Goldberg, a few years back or whatever, and they were like, "Get out of there! Vince is ruining you." Does Kevin Owens get to wrestle Stone Cold Steve Austin at WrestleMania? No.
Almighty
Be
one says
patient.
Adam Cole's the size of his pinky.
Adam Cole's the size of that guy's pinky?
Yes.
That guy's pinky is huge.
Oh my God.
He has a 200-pound pinky?
Stop.
What?
Stop.
That's huge.
All I'm saying, dude, is like someone like Tony Storm.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you get it a whole run with Charlotte Flair.
Right.
For whatever reason you didn't like it, whatever the case is.
Right.
Your future. You get put on the WWE, dude. You have so much other stuff you can do. Once it's over, you get to do the tours, you do these signings, you make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, if you could hang out in the WWE like, Dolph Ziggler,
Mm-hmm.
right? You make a boatload of money.
He's
You get
laughing all the way to the bank.
Do some comedian work.
Right.
And in the end, when people say the name Dolph Ziggler,
Right.
I think they say Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's going to wind up in the Hall of Fame. And he's going to walk out on WrestleMania weekend and wave to 80,000 people.
Right.
Dolph Ziggler's a smart dude.
Would the Pharaoh disagree and go, he shouldn't be in?
No, he should be in. Dolph Ziggler's a Hall of Famer. Absolutely. Why wouldn't he be? I mean, I know he's not Hulk Hogan, but then again, if we start doing that, then half these people are out anyway. So
802 says Adam Cole needs a gym. Almighty One says, or a sandwich.
yeah, maybe both.
Dude, you find Britt Baker attractive, right?
Sure.
What is she doing with Adam Cole?
He's sexy, baby.
Do you think he's sexy?
Adam Cole?
Yeah.
I'm not a chick.
But you still could think
But
of
if I
sexy,
was
right?
if I was a chick, then I would say, yeah, he's handsome. He's not an ugly guy. I do think eventually that thinning hair though is going to turn him into an egg. But, you know.
By the way, best comment of the night, B40 says, my brother went to AEW last night and said it was a smelly Mark Central.
The fan base doesn't use deodorant.
Dude, again, back
that
to the whole
stinks.
Bischoff thing.
Yeah.
What he was trying to say was, look, you're going to have your AEW fans, like you said, that will go to the ends of the earth to point out the fact this is the best wrestling week in the world.
Right.
But it's only a small audience.
Right.
It's like Twitter.
Right.
All these people that bitch and moan on
Right.
Twitter,
Right.
they're really so small
Right.
and they're so obsolete.
Right.
Think about it, YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a fairly successful channel, but we're not even close to some of the channels out there, a.k.a. Hannibal or a.k.a. that kid from England, right?
Right.
Which, by the way, I told you this, right? I want to ask the fans, and I mean, if you guys could tell me so I understand something, and maybe I'm just clueless, okay? But I don't understand how people enjoy droning interviews of the same questions regurgitated. You know, go back to Boston Wrestling. One thing I will say about Dan,
Yeah.
right, is Dan was somewhat entertaining to
Right.
me.
No.
He was funny.
Right.
They laughed. It was a
Right.
conversation.
At least he had an MC feeling.
Right. It was a
I understand.
conversation.
I got you.
And it was
Yes.
enjoyable.
Right.
He might not have liked his comments.
Yeah,
He might not
yeah.
like, he went a little...
Felt more like a show than his shit that passes for a show.
Right.
I agree.
But
I agree.
I don't understand, like, the kid from England asking these questions, this back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, look, he asked questions, and you might see that clip, Dutch Mantel shaves balls or something, right? And you want to go look at it.
Puts hair on
But the end
face.
result, it ends up being nothing, or it ends up something that you heard. And I
Right.
don't understand. I ask the fans, it's like, why?
Right.
Why?
I don't know.
Why do people choose to go watch Hannibal or choose to watch them, and in some cases not watch us?
I just think it's...
Are we not that entertained? Do we not entertain the masses?
I don't think it's got anything to do with that. I think that people get locked into habitual surfing. And this is the people that they happen to find, and they habitually just go back to it. Eventually, just like anything else, and it's going to happen for us too. Someone's going to fucking click on, whoa, wait a minute, and then they tell to so and so
Again,
on.
we are grateful for the audience that we have.
Very.
Right.
And let's not forget the cable audience
yes.
too.
I mean the English guy from wrestling. Yes. So tell me, why do you watch him? What is so entertaining about that kid? I would like to know. I would like to know your thoughts about him. You've mentioned him. You say you watch some.
Yeah, I see it sometimes. I mean, like on a purely Mark level, it's informative. So if you just sit there and get some information, fine. But like you said, though, if you've seen him on one interview, they always seem to tell the same thing. We never let anybody tell the same story twice on our show.
Right.
Period. We don't do it. We actually do the homework, maybe because we went to college.
Maybe.
But,
Good point.
we do our homework, and we go back and look at the previous interviews to make sure we don't repeat any bullshit. But it seems like every other channel, every time they've got somebody on, it's the same fucking questions. So I don't understand it. And they're not presenting the show. It's like, let me just talk to you. Tell me about your arm bars. I don't find that very exciting.
I've watched Hannibal since February. Thank God.
He's boring as piss.
Thank God.
I
just
mean,
don't get it.
It is
Almighty
what it
one.
is.
Hannibal, the self-proclaimed best wrestling interview on YouTube. Wrong.
Oh, God.
We agree.
I mean,
like,
wow.
look, dude, if I think someone's
So
entertaining,
boring.
again, I wasn't friends with Dan. I didn't like Dan, but I always said
Right.
he was entertaining.
Absolutely.
He entertained
Yep.
me. I could
Yep.
listen to him.
Hey,
he was fun.
Dude, he's head and shoulders above Mike's skills compared to Hannibal. My God, what are we talking here? Hannibal doesn't
But
have
so,
any-
RJ, please
skills.
tell me about the English kid. What do you like about the English kid? Explain to me. I want to understand what is the attraction to the English kid. Please, I need to know. It's very, very important to me. I don't know why it's important to me, but
It's
is.
research. You're just curious.
Almighty One says, did Danhausen ruin himself in AEW? So Danhausen to me is a decent gimmick, right? I don't take offense to it at
That's
all.
fine. I mean, it is what it is.
But it's like, I don't think there's certain things that you do.
So Danhausen, according to what he's saying, was actually had some cool factor going before AEW, and now it's watered down. I think that's what he's trying to say. We have AEW watered.
It's a watered down Danhausen.
It might be that. I mean, what is he referring to there? It sounds like Danhausen was cooler before he got to AEW, so they must have tweaked something.
Figueroa says he likes his accent.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, I guess. You like the way he says toilet paper, do you?
B40 said you guys are the Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon of video podcasts.
Well, we already really,
Thank you,
wow, I really appreciate that. But you know what was really
Mitch
cool?
Seinfeld says, lucky I'm not in studio.
Why?
I don't know.
What?
Maybe he took
Mitch?
offense. He's friends with Hannibal, I think.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mitch. Hannibal's boring. I'm sorry. Hey. Okay. What else?
Total Disaster says Hannibal should do shoot interviews with U.S. presidents. So how did you become president? Do you have stories about the vice president? How did you become president? Then the guy says whatever, and then he goes, do you have any stories about the vice president? And then if the president's drunk or something, and Hannibal will go, you know what? You're a drunk. You're a real drunk piece of shit. And then hang up on him.
Yeah. And you know what I would be asking if I had him on? I'd be like, what's the bathroom like in the White House?
Yeah.
That's more interesting than tell us some stories about.
Do you touch yourself in the White House bathroom to the pictures on the wall?
Yeah, yeah. Is your
When you
toilet paper gold?
When you're taking a dump and you're looking at all the famous presidents in there, do you think, I really shouldn't be doing this here?
Or do you think to yourself, do I have the smelliest dump of all the presidents?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Like, who's got the smelliest dump of all the presidents that have sat on that golden throne in the White House? Who's got the smelliest dump?
President Biden, of all the dumps in the president, did you take the smelliest one? What?
He probably wouldn't even know how to answer it.
Huh?
Right.
Where am I?
Right. I mean, Trump would have been like, my poops were the most fantastical poops you have ever smelled. I can see it
They
now.
smell like roses.
Obama would have been like, what poop?
Chris Stevens says, even though Dan's not with us, NWS is stronger than ever. His memory, about 10 to 15,000 few days, even with any new content. You know what, Chris? You're 100% right.
Nice.
I looked up that. I'm like, the dude's still getting like
there you go.
100,000 views
Good
a
for
month.
him.
I'm like, unbelievable.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
That is pretty
I
cool.
wonder how John Cena Sr.'s doing. I got to check on him.
I
checked on him
miss
a little
John
while
Cena
ago,
Sr.
Scott.
How is he? How is Mr. John Cena Sr.? Let's find out. Let's find
see
out.
here. Just home from work, looking forward to unwinding to my favorite YouTube show. Thank you,
Oh,
Riley.
nice.
Love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Phil, what else we got here? Told Disaster said Hannibal also did that to Billy Jack. That was a work.
Yeah, come on,
helped
man.
Hannibal with that.
Yeah,
And then see how well that did.
Yeah.
B40 Hannibal, like the kid from Christmas Story. Do you like a Wizard of Oz? I like the Tin Man.
What?
I like the Tin Man.
I like the Tin
Who
Man.
is your favorite character? I love the Wizard of Oz.
If I only had a brain.
Hello,
Do.
I'm friends with Jenny Santana.
My girlfriend dumped me and I made up a story.
Yardape says,
You're making Mitch mad.
you had an
Oy.
a-hole Annie on Boston Wrestling Fame on your program, it would be the best way to pay tribute to. You know what, Yard? I got to try
What was
to
that?
get a-hole Annie of
Who was
Boston.
A-hole Annie?
There was a girl that
A-hole
I
Annie?
think Phil used to talk about her. I think she's the
What
one
a
that used to, when
name.
the wrestlers used to get
That's-
the name. But
that's
the reason
great.
is because when the wrestlers came to town.
Annie was an a-hole?
No,
Oh, no! Wrecked him? Damn near killed him?
That's
Is
right.
that what you're getting at?
that's right.
Wow.
The boys were going down.
Holy
to play around with the
rear
chocolate
end
starfish,
Batman.
folks.
The chocolate starfish.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, winky. Damn.
From Rocky Johnson on down.
Oh my God. Stretch Armstrong over there.
Yeah. Whew. That girl must have had a hard time keeping the poop in.
Man, what an asshole.
Ooh,
oh
disgusting.
my God. Unbelievable.
Phil says you guys are keeping me up. I wake up at 4 a.m. Dig the comedy we need.
There you go.
That's what we try to do, man. We try to make fun. But
Phil's
the best
been up
part
since
is,
4 a.m.?
I got a PhD. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're out of time. It's
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
It is?
We thank you guys again for spending your Thursday with us. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will have some wrestlers coming in later on in the month.
Okay.
Wait, Mitch, before we go, says, let's talk about wrestlers that look like they should be retrieving carts at ShopRite. Go!
Kevin Owens.
All right, I'm going to say, hold on, let me think.
Sami Zayn.
No,
He looks like they both do.
what's that guy? James Ellsworth.
James Ellsworth, definitely. Definitely.
Right?
He's taking out the trash. What are you talking about?
James Ellsworth looks like,
Well, he has no chin. You can start there.
dude, yeah, Vince James. Oh, come on, someone else that should be pushing carts.
That looks like they should be pushing carts. That's rough because I think about Vince's company. He doesn't allow people who look like that for the most part, outside of Kevin and Sammy.
Just any wrestler,
old,
new, whatever.
I can't. You think John Moxley looks like a Walmart manager?
I think Dutch Mantel looks like he should be pushing a cart.
Mantel looks like he's outside with a cup asking for change. What are you talking about?
Will work for food.
That's rough.
The kid from England. Hey, Dutch. I'm going to try it again.
Oh, no.
Dutch.
They're the worst.
What do you think about the tragic accident from Sonny?
If you ask me one more question, varmint, I'm not answering it.
My mustache is stuck in my nose. I look like a fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Don't worry, I'll be there. Nut.
All right, good night, everybody. Pharaoh send us out. First of all, I want to say welcome to the team, Jared.
Thank you,
what
Jared.
An honor. Spidey in the house. Flawless.
Spidey.
Flawless. Flawless.
Thank you.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Spidey.
Spidey.
All right, folks, you've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. And until next week, on behalf of Spidey, Mr. Monte, and the Pharaoh.
And Dutch Mantel.
Nah, fuck him. Later.